I was lost. I really was. I was lost. I grew up without a permanent father figure in my life. I had a couple of stepfathers come into my life who weren't great examples looking back on what it meant to be a man. You know, I think about my childhood and I remember my friends, they would go on hunts with their dads and they'd be playing catch in the yard with their dads, and I didn't have that. But I didn't feel bad as a kid. I really didn't, because you don't know, right? You don't know, you don't have anything to compare it to. So my life was just my life. It wasn't like I felt like I was missing out. I did a lot, and I'm sure we'll get into some of these things that I've been able to do, but I got married and I was lost as a husband. You know, I didn't know how a man showed up for his family.
How did you know that?
Because the results weren't there. You know, there wasn't love. There wasn't a whole lot of respect in our relationship. My wife's here, you know, right now. There wasn't a whole lot of respect mutually between her and I. At times I feel bad about even saying this, but I didn't really even want to, you know, be at home. You know, I wanted to be out pursuing work and doing the things that I thought I was supposed to be doing. I had a 1-year-old son at the time, and I didn't know how to father him, and I felt like, you know, at times more of a nuisance. I always loved him, but more of a nuisance really than my son. I mean, I think about who I was then. I feel bad about even saying it. There was a time where my wife and I got into an argument. We were supposed to go on a trip and we couldn't. It started snowing or something, and we came home and we got into an argument. And long story short, I looked her straight in the eye and said, "I don't even want to be married to you anymore." And she said, "I don't either." And the next morning she left. And so her and I went through this separation, and I really struggled. I remember sitting in my 1-year-old son's room at the time, empty, crib, couple pictures on the wall of him, looking at the picture of him, crying, saying, "I'm going to find a way to get you back in my life." And through a lot of work and a lot of conversation and a lot of self-discovery on my own part, and you know what? She would say the same thing about herself. So I don't want to excuse any of the things that she had to work on, because a lot of guys will say that. Well, it takes two to tango. Yes, it does. But I could only work on myself. I couldn't do anything about her. And that's actually what I tried to do, is I tried to control her, manipulate her. I thought, if only I could get her to change, then everything would be fine. You know, if she was appreciative and supportive and did the things that a quote unquote good wife should do, then we wouldn't have these issues. And it wasn't until I actually came to the conclusion, I remember the road I was on, the cross street I was on, where I thought to myself, this marriage is over. And simultaneously, I remember thinking, well, if this marriage is over, then I just want to become the best catch for the next woman to come into my life. And that's where things started clicking for me, is I began to work on myself. I began to fix the business that I had, which was a financial planning firm. You and I have talked about that a little bit in the past. I got back into shape, started to get the finances in order, started to focus on me, which a lot of guys don't do. You know, I look at guys driving down the road to work and I assume they're miserable, because I can see in their eyes they're miserable. They're driving to a job that they hate, to sit in a cubicle or box for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, to get home, you know, to feel annoyed or put out that they have to do anything with their wife or kids, eat dinner, maybe watch some TV for a couple hours, go to bed, sleep an insufficient amount of sleep, and then get up and do the same thing over and over and over again. And these guys are just running through this cycle. I know what it feels like, because that was me. And when I started to work on myself, I was able to remedy and fix a lot of that. I feel like over the past, it's been almost 11 years now since my wife and I went through our separation. I'm a significantly better husband, significantly better father, but that all stemmed from learning to take care of myself.